Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today, as you can probably tell from the title, I am doing a tutorial on how to make your own bakery game in Scratch. So as usual, there are links down in the description to where you can create your own project in Scratch. You don't need an account, you can just click on the link and then you are right in the project panel with your own new project. And there's also a link to an example of the game that we'll be making, so you can see what it's supposed to look like and how it's supposed to turn out. This tutorial is actually a very simple one. It's pretty easy to code, but the game that you make is pretty cool. And there's also going to be a part 2 that I will do next week where you can make it even cooler. So the game that we're making is a bakery game, and the focus is donuts. So there's donuts that you can make. You can customize the dough and the frosting and all of those different kinds of things. And then next week you'll be able to fill orders. So make sure that you guys subscribe if you're not already subscribed so that you don't miss next week's add-on to this tutorial. So I am going to share my screen and start showing you guys how to do this. So the first thing I'm going to do is just rename this project. I'm going to rename it Bakery Game : Donuts Donut Maker. And then the donuts that we're going to use are, I put don't maker, donut maker. The donuts that we're going to use are in the they're in this sprite library. So the Scratch always has a library of automatic things you can use. You don't need any license to use them, so you don't have to go and look up pictures and then be wondering if there's a certain copyright that you're gonna violate by downloading them or something like that. So they have a lot of cool stuff in here, and we're just gonna use this basic donut thing. We're also gonna delete this cat because we don't need that. And we want this donut to be able to be very customizable. So we need to split this into 3 different parts. So there's the frosting, there's the bread, and then there's the sprinkles. And to separate those, what we're going to do is we're gonna take this and then we're gonna select the frosting, copy it, draw a new sprite, and paste it. So as long as this sprite is always at the exact same place, it's going to be on top of the donut. And then this sprite can be the bread. We'll take this off of it, and there's just there's just some chocolate underneath it. So this, as you can see, the coordinates are over here where it says the X and Y. So this one is at 1316. So we're going to put the frosting at 1316 and see what happens. So it moved over to the right space. Wait, so 1316. Oh, that's 13 negative 16. We'll put that at negative 16. There we go. So this is what the donut looked like before, except the sprinkles are beneath it. So we need to make a new sprite for the sprinkles. So let's go back to the donut and get those sprinkles. The different colors are in different groups, so you have to select them all. And then copy those, delete them from here, and paste them. So once we have these in 3 different parts, we can make them each customizable parts. And then we can make some buttons to make them customizable. And we also have to, as you can see, the frosting covered up the donut hole. So what we have to do is take this donut hole, copy it, and paste it over top of this. And actually, when I did this in my own project, what I did was I got the eraser and just erased a hole in it so that it would be the same size as the original hole in the donut. But I didn't really like make sure it was an exact replica of the hole, because either way it's kind of easy, because we can't really have this brown outline in there because the dough is going to change colors like depending on which color that they choose. So there we go. I just deleted this thing. I need to erase a hole in this. So let me see. I will. This is hard. Actually, let me paste this again just so that I can get an idea of how big this hole is supposed to be. And then I'm going to take an eraser. Actually, let me select this and take an eraser and erase. Hopefully this works. I think this is how I did it last time. Did I erase anything? Oh no, oopsies. What am I doing? So there's a hole here. There we go. There's a hole. I did it. So this, I'm going to delete some of these little pieces of it so that it's easier to shape, and then make it a little bit wider, and so it kind of looks like how it did before. But basically you can just erase a hole in this donut in the frosting, and then it'll look like that. So before we make buttons to change these things, we need them to have different ways that they look. So we can start by making different flavors of the dough. So I'm just gonna select this. Let's ungroup this so that we can actually click the individual pieces. So let's take this, and then we can make some vanilla. Like this looks like a chocolate one, so let's make some vanilla, make it lighter a little bit, and then we can change the outline to match it. So I'm gonna shift and select everything. So, and then I'll do the dropper and do it like this, and select that pale color that I just made, and then make it darker. You can take as much creative license with this as you want, so that it looks how you want it to look. And let me change the fill of this to that, and then change this color, and I think this, I don't know what that is back there, but these outlines need to be the same as this. So basically all you have to do is just change the color slightly to match what you want it to look like. And then we can make like a strawberry donut. So make that pink, a little lighter than that, because that's kind of a creepy color for a strawberry donut to be. And then the rest of it, and then change the middle. Yeah, and then I'll change the outlines of everything to be like a darker strawberry color. So I'll take that color and make that darker, so like more reddish. Perfect. So now we have a chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry donut. So we're going to make some different colors of frosting. So for all of these, you can just change them to whatever colors you like. Usually, since I want them to kind of be in the same color scheme, I'm not going to change the saturation or the brightness so that they're all pastel. And I'll just move this over here to change the color. Like I'll make this a blue pastel one. This is like a purplish one. And then I'll make the outline the same color. Oh, my voice is kind of scratchy. Then let's make this next one green. Will the green look very different? That looks kind of different than this one. Not that different, but it's close enough. Do you want them to have as many options as possible? If they want their donut to be a very specific color, then we want to be able to accommodate that request. That looks exactly like this one. The red and the purple look the same. Maybe if I make this more purple and make this one more red, then it'll look different. There, that's more purple, and then this one can be, oh, it's like all the way red. Yeah, these two look different. Okay, so we've got 4 different frosting colors. And then the last thing that we need to do is change, where's the outline not changing? Is change the sprinkles. So we'll make some copies of this. Let's make 4, so 1 to match each color of the frosting. So we already have, this will match the purple one, and then we can make it match the blue one. So I'm gonna select these, make them like a darker blue, and then I'll make these light blue, and then I'll keep the white ones white so that they have a good contrast. Are those different colors? Those don't look very different. Oh my gosh. There we go. And then we had a green one, so let's make a green. Then some palish green. I'll make it kind of like a more yellowy green. And then this last one should be pink. So let's make this like dark red, and then this one bright pink. Perfect. So we need buttons for the donut pieces to be able to switch between all of these different variants that we have to create the donut that everybody wants. So let's make some buttons. So we'll go to Paint. A lot of this is drawing. There's actually not a lot of coding that goes into this because it's a very easy game to make. I will make the buttons purple, and then I want the outline to be white, and then I'll make the words on the inside white. So then this button will change the dough, and then I'll make it serif. So this button will change what the dough looks like. Now we have to make this button clickable and not so ginormous. This button is huge. So let's shrink that down a bit. There we go. And then we'll put it on one side because we'll need 3 buttons either side. So this one is dough. And let's go to events, then do when this sprite is clicked. This is how you make a button. When this sprite is clicked, we want it to send a message to this dough sprite to switch costumes to the next one that we have. So we'll broadcast a message. We'll make a new message called change dough. And as always, if you guys are just joining in, there are links down in the description to where you can start coding with me, and just click on the link. You don't have to make an account or anything. You can just click on that and then join in. And if you are joining in now, then you can rewind so that you don't miss anything, and then you can make this game too. The example is also down in the description so you can see what this game can potentially look like when you make it. So far we have made some different variants for the sprinkles, frosting, and dough. And we've made this button send a message. So now we have to make the donut receive it. So let's take out when I receive change dough. then we want it to go to next costume, and the next costume block is in looks. So let's test this out. When I click on this dough button, this will now switch between the different flavors. Now we will make a couple more buttons so that the frosting and sprinkles can do the same thing, and then we'll just need 3 more messages. So let's go to this copy and we'll call this sprinkles, and then just shrink that word down so that it's the right size for this little box here. Let's make it a little bit bigger than that so they can actually read it. There we go. Move this button over here, and as you can see, when I clicked on this to move it, it told the dough sprite to change its color because we haven't changed the message yet. So let's make a new message called change sprinkles. And once you have that, then we will make when I receive change sprinkles, we're in the sprinkles sprite now. When the sprinkles receives change sprinkles, we will have that also do next costume. And then let's just go ahead and make another message for the frosting while we're here. And then we'll have the frosting button send it once we change the dough word to frosting on that sprite. Change frosting, looks, and then next costume. So now let's change this last button's words to frosting. Move that over. And then when this sprite is clicked, we'll have that send the change frosting message. So now we have a customizable donut. So you can see the donut is changing the sprinkles, the dough is changing, the frosting is changing, and you can stop here, but there's also another feature that you can add where you can actually sell the donut and make some money. So I'm actually going to make a backdrop for this so you're not just making a donut in a random blank space. This is a bakery, right? So let us make a bakery. So I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I'm not exactly an artiste. So I just use shapes to make things look how I want them to look. I'm actually going to move this donut down and let's make this donut go like here. So this is 15, -65. So to make sure that the donuts and the sprinkles are always synced up in the same spot, let's make it so that when the start is clicked, we'll to make a forever loop, and then get this go to block from motion, go to donut. And then let's rename these sprites so that the names actually make sense. This one will be frosting. This one will be sprinkles. And then I'll do dough button. Sprinkles button. And frosting button. Frosting button. So back to the frosting. So now it will always sync up its coordinates to the donut. And then we're just going to drag this over to the sprinkles so that the sprinkles will also do the same thing. That just copies it there. So as you can see, the frosting is now in front of, is now behind the donut when we want the donut to be in the back, the frosting to be in front of that, and the sprinkles to be on the very top. So to make that, all we have to do is go to when start clicked. We want the donut to go to the back layer. Then we want, I'll drag this to the sprinkles and then change it to when start click to go to front layer, and then this is going to be right in between. So let's copy this front layer one, and to make sure that the sprinkles always go to the very front, since they're both going to be going to the front at the same time, we're going to have this wait like a millisecond before it goes to the front, the very front, so that it's always in front of the frosting. So let's test that out. And there we go. So now everything is always going to be in the right order. And it's on the counter. So let's continue making our bakery. As I was saying, I'm not exactly a digital artist, so I use shapes to make my games. You don't actually have to be very fancy with what you make. If you saw the example game, I really just used a bunch of squares to make everything, and it looks pretty decent, I would say. Let's make the walls like, we're gonna have some nice green, some fresh green walls. So the walls will be green. And then this is the counter that you're making your little thing on. And then we'll make a door. Let's make the door white. Oopsies, I'm still selected on that. We'll make the door white. And then when the door is white, you have to make it actually look like a door, and that you're looking over the counter to be able to see the door. So let's put a doorknob on it. And the doorknob will be slightly darker than the door so that there's a contrast. Make it gray. And then I'm not sure if a lot of doors have this, but at my old house we used to have doors with little, it looked kind of like a chocolate bar, but they were white, and there was like different squares on it. There were like short squares at the top, 2 short squares, and then 2 long ones at the bottom. And I just think the doors look really nice like that. I might be slightly biased, but I'm gonna make the doors look like that because I think it looks very classic and modern when doors have that little chocolate bar pattern. So let me copy and paste this over here. And then shift, I'll select both of those, group them since it's easier to use them that way, and then I'll copy them and paste them again, but make them a little longer. And then I'll put this doorknob like a little bit higher and then move it to the front. Or maybe, actually, this doorknob is not that big, so I'll make it smaller and like put it over here. There we go. So we've got a door, we've got a counter. So let's make a window because we're not just baking in a airless box. We want to be able to look at like a nice sunny sky while we are making our beautiful donuts. So we'll make a blue square. Then I'll outline that in white. Let's make the outline thicker. And then we'll cross it like a normal window. And then since this is a pretty wide window, we'll put some other panes in there. I'm not sure if that's the word for it. I don't think the little lines are called window panes. I think the glass is called a window pane. Anyway, that's off topic. But so we have our little bakery here. This is the inside. And now we can customize our donut inside the bakery. So we're here now. And the last button for this empty little corner here will be a sell button. And to sell, we will duplicate one of these other buttons and rename it to sell. and make that huge since it's a short little word. And then I'll put that right here. And this one is not going to broadcast a message to the, this one is not going to broadcast a message to the donut. This one is going to, well, actually, it's not going to broadcast a message for it to change anything. It's going to broadcast its own message so it can be put in a bag and taken away, and the person will get some money. So we're going to have this broadcast a sell message. Then I'm going to draw a bag. So this bag can look however you want. As long as it's bigger than the donut, then it's fine. I'm going to make this like a brown paper bag. Got to make it kind of grayish. I think that's a paper bag color. So we've got a little paper bag here. Make that smaller. Yeah. So there's our paper bag. I'm gonna ridge these edges so that it looks like an actual paper bag. So we'll take this little dot tool. It's like a mouse with a dot and a line on it, and then just make a bunch of points and then click pointed so that they're all pointy and not making rounded ends, and then make a bunch of them going on the top line across so that you can make some points in the bag. And then once you've made all of those pointed dots, just drag some of them down and you'll make the ridged top of the paper bag. So we've got that now, and I want to put whatever like the logo for this bakery is on it. So let's go to choose a costume in the paper bag sprite, and then we'll find that donut again, and then we'll put the donut on top of the paper bag so it looks like it's one of those like branded paper bags that bakeries usually have. So we've clicked on it. It should be importing right now. Let me zoom out so that we can actually see the full plastic bag. Not plastic bag, paper bag, because paper bags are much more eco-friendly. So we'll group this, copy it, paste it, and put that on top of the bag. And then I'm going to put it in a little square as if it's like a logo. Make that darker, darker. Oh, the outline should be that color, and then the inside should be transparent. This little white box with the red stripe there means transparent. So you can make a square just in outline. All right, so we've got our paper bag here. And we need our paper bag to come in, be in front of the donut, and then leave as if they are taking the donut off screen to the person that you're selling it to. And later on, we'll be adding on to this to make you able to fulfill order requests and have to copy a specific donut. So let's say there was like a chocolate donut with green frosting and blue sprinkles that you had to make, then you would have to customize it to look like that. And if it does look like that, then you get some money. And if you don't, it takes some money away because you have to give a refund. So make sure that you guys subscribe and tune in next week for my live when I show you guys how to do that. But before we get to that, we will make it so that this paper bag will take away the donut. So when this paper bag takes away the donut has to go with the paper bag off to the side so that it's not just the paper bag leaving without the donut. So when this, at the beginning, we want this bag to be hidden. So when start clicked, we want it to hide. And then when it receives the show message, not the show message, when it receives the sell message, we want it to show after it's been hidden. Then let's have it stay for a while. Let's have it stay for 1 second and then glide off screen. Where is the glide? Here it is. Glide for 2 seconds to the same Y that it is, and then we'll make the X 300. But we also need to make it come to this point at the beginning, so we'll put, and a cool thing about Scratch is these coordinates that are automatically in the motion thing are matched with wherever it is right now. So if you want it to go to where you put it right now when in the beginning, then you could just take this out of there and these coordinates match where it already is. So let's say I wanted to I dragged it over here and I wanted the sprite to go over there. The coordinates have changed, so I can just see the coordinates changed, and I can just drag it out and that will be the same. So once it glides, we also want it to add some money. So let's make a variable. Make a variable called $, and then put this variable, we'll drag this in like the middle. And at the beginning, your money is 0. So let's put this at this beginning thing. So your money is 0 when you first click on the game, and then when you sell, you should get more money. So when you sell, we will have it change your money variable by some dollars and some cents. So this, instead of actually typing in it, we're going to put a join in there and some randoms. So this one will pick a random number from this number to this number, whichever one you put in there. So if you click on it, it'll give you some random numbers like it is right now. It's like 6, 8, 4, 9, whatever's in those parameters. So we're going to put actually 2 joins together. So this one will be a period, so that it's like you could get 199 or 247, so that you can get like a random amount of dollars and a random amount of cents. So let's take another random. We'll put 1 here. Let's put 1 in this where this banana is and 1 where the apple is. Then it'll give you a random amount of dollars from 1 to 5, and then a random amount of cents from 0 to 99. So here it's $4.16, $1.70, $5.65. So you've got a random price here, and then we'll put that here. So this change by, when we click on it, it will add a random thing to your money. So let's put that back. So to make this this donut glide off screen with this, we will need the donut to be able to receive the message. And whatever coordinate we have this donut go to, the sprinkles and frosting are also going to go to the same place, so we don't have to keep copying and pasting for each part of the donut to move, because the coordinates of both of them are already synced up as we did before. If you missed that, you can rewind and rewatch that part so that it'll be easier for you to do this now. So let's go to events and then have when I receive sell. When I receive sell, we'll wait 1 second since the thing waited 1 second, and then glide to, where was this? This was glide to 300 negative 82. So we'll have this glide to 300 and negative 82. Oh, I put it in the wrong place. When it sells, put 300 negative 82. So this donut will move that way, and we also need it to go to where it is right now in the beginning and once the selling is over. So once that is done, actually let's make this glide 2 seconds because that's when the other one did. We'll have it go back to where it is right now. So let's try this and see how that works. See what happens. Okay, so the donut stayed within the bag, but the bag needs to hide and the bag also needs to be at the front. So let's go here. We'll make the bag go to the front layer, and then once it is done gliding off, we'll make it hide. And I think that glide was too slow, so let's make it like 1 second. And then we'll change the glide to 1 second in the donut as well. So let's try that out. So there we go. So now the donut slides off the table when you sell, and you get some money. So you can add some sound effects as well. I have some sound effects that I already downloaded from the YouTube audio library. And if you don't have a YouTube Studio account, then you might not be able to access it. But I mean, not a YouTube Studio account, a YouTube channel. But you can just make your regular Google account a YouTube channel, just have nothing on it, and like it doesn't really make a difference. And then you can access the audio library and get some royalty-free sound effects and background music. So there's also some sounds in this audio library that you can use if you want to, but I'm gonna upload my own. So I have this. So I have a paper crunching sound and a song that I want to play in the background of my bakery is kind of like some music. So here are my three things here. They're all from the YouTube audio library, so if you want to find them, it's Change Drop on Wood, Paper Crunching, and Sailor Song. So this paper crunching, I'm just going to take like a little bit of it, and I'm going to copy that to a new one and then just delete this one I'm using right now. So I've got just like one nice paper crunch, and then I will make this super loud because this paper crunch is very it's very quiet at first. And then this song I want to play in the background all the time, but I also want it to be able to be turned on and off. So we're going to save that till the end, adding the music, but let's make this paper crunching and the change drop go in first. So we'll go to sounds and we'll have it start the sound paper crunching 2 when it shows up, so it'll kind of sound like they're putting the donut in a paper bag. And then we'll have the change drop 1 start like right before the money changes. So now let's try that. So it looks like we have a little bit of a glitch. We forgot to make it so that the paper bag also starts in that area. So let's try that again. There we go. So we've got our 2 sounds and we've got the paper bag taking it off screen. And the last thing that we can do, if you don't want to add any music, then, or you can't access the YouTube audio library, it is perfectly fine for you to stop here. You should be very proud of yourself if you made it all the way through this, or even if you just made it through to where you can customize the donut. Either way, you guys are doing a great job. So the last thing we can do is make a button where you can turn the music on and off. So let's paint a little square. We want to make it this bright purple like that one. And then I would make an audio button, like a little audio symbol where it's like a little megaphone and the 3 lines, but I'm feeling fancy today, so I'm going to draw a music note, and also secretly because that's much easier to draw. Let me take this brown outline off. I don't know why there's a brown outline, but let's make this white like the rest of the letters that I have here. And go 1, 2, 3. That's the base of the music note. I'm not sure which way a music note is supposed to face. I'm not sure if it really matters which way the music note is supposed to face. Let me make these lines bigger. And then I'll put the little bobbles on the end. Actually, let me just look up real quick which way a music note is supposed to face. Yeah, it's right. Yeah, it faces that way. Okay. So we've got this one, and then let's give that a white outline. And let's make it a bit smaller. We'll put that in this corner up here, and then we'll also make another one of it where there's a strike through it, so that means that the music is off. And then, no, that's not reaching all the way. Let me change that. There we go. So we've got 2 costumes, so we need to make this able to start and stop the music. So we'll get, when start clicked, we also need to make a variable for music on or off, where this one, it will, when start clicked, it will start this music that we have. We take the music from this sprite. You can always drag any music or costumes that you have from other sprites to other sprites. So I'm going to drag this into our music one. Wait, where is it? Is it going? I don't think it's going. Let me change the view. It didn't move. One more time. There we go. All right. So at the beginning, let's go to sounds. We want it to play this sailor song and until done, but then we also need to make it so that when this is clicked, it can stop and play it. So we will have this variable music on or off. At the beginning, it will be 1, which means on. And then when it is clicked, we'll need an if else. When it is clicked, if the variable, if music on or off equals 1, then we'll make it stop. So if it's on, then we'll turn it off, and then if it's not on, then we'll turn it. Basically, it'll just switch back and forth because it's kind of hard to explain without getting tongue-tied. So music on or off, if it equals 1, then let's go to sounds and get the stop all sounds button. And then If it's not already on, then we'll have it start it. And then once that's over, we will have it set the music on or off to set to whatever the music is, whether it's on or off, times -1. So whenever anything is multiplied by -1, it switches from positive to negative. So this will just make it switch back and forth. So let's see how that works. Okay, so now it will change back and forth. The music is turning on and off. So let's also make the costume change. And then at the beginning, we will have the costume switch to the first costume, which is costume 1. So at the start, it's on. Let me make this bigger. And then when I click on it, it's off. And then the music comes on and off. And then we also will want this music to be on a loop and only continue that loop until the music is turned off. So to make sure that it is always on a loop unless the music is turned off, then we will make a forever loop. Forever start this sound. Oh, let's get the forever loop. Forever start this sound. Actually, not start it. We'll have it play until done, because then it'll just always be starting over and starting over. Forever play it until done, and then we'll need an if else. And then let's just duplicate this and borrow. And remember, you can always just right click on something to duplicate it. So if the music is number 1, which is on, then just continue playing it. And if it is not, then we'll have it stop all sounds. So let's see how that works. So that works. The music still turns on and off, and that means that it will always be on a loop as well. So that is everything in the game, guys. So make sure that you guys like and subscribe if you don't want to miss the next add-on to this game. And if you made it, then be sure to email me at LemonerdyHQ and show me what you made. Or you can go to my game on scratch.mit.edu. There's a link down in the description to the example, and you can comment with a link to your project once you shared it, so that I can see it and see how you guys did. So if you joined in later, remember you can always rewind and see the entire tutorial, but I'm very happy that you guys have joined me, and I will see you next time. Bye!